Good morning, brothers and sisters. Have you shouted for joy and give thanks yet? 2019 is going very soon. In my heart, I really hope we and the church in all lands can be more glorious, to experience Him more and bring out the revival of the church together, to receive His coming. I really want to share about the Lord's praising for these few days. I have shared the Lord's praising to Mary. I like to share the second praising, which was also to Mary. As you all know, the Lord praised Mary that she has done a beautiful thing to Him. What was this beautiful thing? That was a marvelous thing. Mary came with an alabaster flask of ointment of pure nard, very costly, and she broke the flask and poured it over the Lord's head while He was reclining at table. The Lord praised Mary for her action. He praised her to an extent that wherever the gospel was proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be told in memory of her. Mary has done one thing, that was to express her steadfast love towards the Lord in her heart and her complete offering. Actually, it was not necessary for her to break the flask, for the flask was expensive and valuable. It was not necessary to pour out all the ointment. But you see what Mary had done? She didn't have any reservation, since she offered only for the Lord whom she loved. Brothers and sisters, the Lord has praised Mary, has done a beautiful thing. What she did has touched many. The Lord said it was a beautiful thing. The expression of love towards the Lord was beautiful in the Lord's heart. Brothers and sisters, if it was a beautiful thing to the Lord, then there was nothing can be compared in this world. This was the most beautiful. Every one of us has our own alabaster flask. Every one of us has our own ointment to offer to the Lord. For example, our own body, soul, and spirit, our precious time, our life, even our mind, and our love. All these can offer to the Lord. Brothers and sisters, may we receive the praising from the Lord in 2020. We shall do the beautiful things in the will of the Lord and in Him, as the offering to Him without any reservation. As we all know, after Mary has offered her ointment, the Lord had to nail on the cross. After He has risen and nobody could offer the ointment, that was also the beautiful thing, that the Lord has risen afterwards. He had the complete faith, Mary had the complete faith that the Lord would resurrect. I believe when the Lord has risen, His glorious body may still have the fragrance of Mary's pure nard ointment. Brothers and sisters, in the Lord, your neighbor is not in vain. What you have done, what you have offered in your life, will surely give forth the fragrance. May we offer to the Lord together in 2020. Brothers and sisters, the verses I'd like to share with you is in the book of Numbers, chapter 11, verse 4 to 6. And it said, Now the rabble that was among them had a strong craving, and the people of Israel also wept again and said, Oh, that we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we ate in Egypt that cost nothing, the cucumbers, the melons, and the leeks, the onions, and the garlic. But now our strength is dried up, and there is nothing at all but this manna to look at. This verses was recorded when the Israelites has left Egypt. They were complaining in the wilderness. They have complained many times, and this time I find that they were quite outrageous. The rabble that was among them will refer to the Israelites had left Egypt, and they went with some Gentiles, and they were called as the rabble. The Israelites was affected by this rabble and even wet. Why did they wet? It was because they had no meat to eat. Isn't that ridiculous? And they had made some exaggerated statements. They could eat the fish for free in Egypt. Was it true? Let's think, when man is complaining, those words may not be real. It was forced, or even a lie, exaggerating. But the power of complaint was so great, it has spread by the people in Israel, and even affect and disrupt the whole community. The Israelites complained and blamed God that they didn't have meat to eat. Not that they have nothing to eat, but they didn't have meat to eat. So what was it? What was the meaning behind their complaint? For they hate what was given by God. The food given by God was manna. It was fresh, very tasty, and very nutritious. But what did they say? Their strength is dried up. That was ridiculous. In their eyes, there was nothing. All this was not true. So you can see the disruptiveness of complaints is so powerful. Brothers and sisters, never be a grumbler, for the complaints are not true. God is not like that. God loves us the most. We shall not do this. Instead, we shall give thanks, for what we have was given by God. Therefore, brothers and sisters, not only we shall not complain, we shall stay in the midst of the if we stay in the midst of the grumbler, if we cannot change them, then you shall escape from them, for you may influence by their complaints, and it will spread. I'd like to tell you a story. I hope you can be a grateful person. There was rich students and poor students in the school. You could tell from their lunchbox and their family background. One of the students' lunchbox was the baked beans and tomato sauce forever, whereas the others have egg, vegetables, and many different kinds of food. So you could tell who was from the rich family, and this poor student ate his baked beans always, but he ate it happily. But every time when he opened the lunchbox, he could pick up some hair. The students beside him saw it, would find it was so disgusting. But why his lunchbox, which his mother prepared for him, had hair in it? Oh dear, it was so dirty. Therefore, the image of the students was not very good. This poor student has invited his classmate to come and pray in his house. This rich student was not so willing, but the poor student was a good student and did very well in class. The rich students accepted his invitation and went to play in his house. The poor student was so excited and told his mom, "Mom, I brought my friend with me." Her mom was old, and she was touching the wall and moved slowly and opened the door. She came out and welcomed his friend, and slowly she walked back into the house. This rich student then realized the mother of this poor student knew that she was blind. The rich student's heart sank suddenly. Then the poor student told his classmate and said, "My lunchbox was made by my mom every day, though it was baked bean every day. My mom is blind, and she prepared my lunchbox carefully. It is not just a lunchbox, but with the love of my mom." This rich student understood why his classmate was so grateful. It was not because it was not easy to prepare a lunchbox, though there was 1 or 2 hair in it. It was filled with his mom's love. He had learned to give thanks, for what he received was not just materially, but the precious love from his mom. Therefore, the rich student liked this poor student very much, for he was a grateful person and would not complain. Brothers and sisters, I hope we are grateful for what God has given us. There may be some difficulties, but still your life is filled with God's love. May we be full of faith